I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. Ann Arbor is having quite a year celebrating 200 years of being unconventional, trailblazing innovators. Watch as local businesses are highlighted on the national stage during Good Morning America's Main Street USA.
Good Morning America has chosen to come to Ann Arbor to help us celebrate our bicentennial, also to recognize and highlight some of the small businesses we have in our city.
The small business owners are the backbone. I mean, they offer all kinds of different services and goods. We can buy it here in Ann Arbor from local neighbors and friends.
We chose this intersection to do the show because you have different types of small businesses right around on the corners. So Home and Garden and Fleetwood, the Vault at Midnight, Blank Slate from down the hill created a special ice cream for the day, and the Washtenaw Dairy participated. Those are the fabric of Ann Arbor.
Downtown Home and Garden is kind of a little oasis in the middle of everything. We like to say if we don't have it, you don't need it. Our collection is very eclectic. It's hand-picked. We're very intentional about what we offer our customers. We try to give them current, inspiring things, but still be dependable for the things that we're counted on for, the traditional goods.
We got an opportunity to feature the jazz band from Community High School, and we just had a great cross-section of the downtown and business community come out today.
We draw a lot on the strength and the spirit of what has been. I mean, you know, we're current, you know, and relevant, but at the same time, we take our history really seriously, and we work hard to make sure we represent that value and the familiarity.
Happy birthday, Ann Arbor! I'm really excited to be part of this 200th celebration.
Happy birthday, Ann Arbor!
Happy birthday, Ann Arbor.
Happy birthday, Ann Arbor!
Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more in exactly 30 seconds. For decades, skateboarders have had to fight for their right to skate, as many cities did not provide a safe place to focus on the craft. 10 years ago, Ann Arbor unveiled a bodacious addition to Veterans Memorial Park that left the skate community soaring.
We're out here in Veterans Memorial Park celebrating the 10th anniversary of the Ann Arbor Skatepark.
I have a history with Ann Arbor since the early 90s, and it's a super fun park. It's well built, it's fun to skate.
One thing about the skate park is that it's one of the largest around at 30,000 square feet. Another aspect of the skate park that makes it popular is that it has beginner, intermediate, and advanced areas. We have bowls, we have a street plaza sort of area.
We're doing skate jams, and we're getting the word out to people basically like about the park, about foundations, and about different clubs and organizations.
Peace Neighborhood Center is a place where kids can come and get tutoring and after-school programs and all kinds of programs for kids, and the Friends of the Ann Arbor Skatepark has partnered with them to be able to have those kids come in a more formal way to the skate park, get used to being at the skate park and learn to skate.
We're just representing women and basically people who are underrepresented for a long time. We're not gonna like let the culture of skateboarding or what it once was like isolate it to one specific demographic. So it's just basically like pushing through those barriers, just like any part of skateboarding is. You're pushing through those barriers and you're like, we do have a space here.
You'll see a lot of the older skaters out here really bringing the younger skaters in and teaching them how to do it safely, how to do tricks even, and how to begin skating.
It leads you to friends that you'll have for the rest of your life. It leads you to like other friends from other cities, other parts of the planet. Like it's just so much camaraderie in skateboarding.
Happy anniversary to the Ann Arbor Skatepark, 10 years, baby.
Get out and skate!
All super love to the friends of the Ann Arbor Skatepark. Well done.
For more info or to donate to valuable programming to diversify the sport, visit a2skatepark.org. The weather is right to get on a bike, but before those feet hit the pedals, learn about bike maintenance in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hello, I'm Doug Martell with the Ann Arbor Police Department. We're going to talk about a pre-check on your bikes. I call it the ABC. You're getting ready to dust your bikes off for the season. So A is for air. Make sure that your tires are properly inflated, that you have good tread on your tires. B for brakes. You want to make sure that your brakes are working properly, because if you're going, you're going to need to stop at some point. So make sure that your brakes are working properly. If you need help with those, I'm sure your local bike shop will help you out. And C is for chain. You need to have a chain that's working well, that's not rusty and corroded. So make sure that your chain is working. If it's rusty and it doesn't look like it's going to take any lube, your local bike shop can help you out getting the right length of chain for you. Thanks for watching. Please ride safely. Enjoy the ride.
Art is all around us, in part thanks to the Ann Arbor Art Center. This nonprofit has been making our area more aesthetically pleasing since 1909. In 2022, the organization welcomed a new leader to help keep the arts flourishing for centuries to come. Joining me is Jenn Queen, Executive Director of the Ann Arbor Art Center. Welcome to the show, Jenn.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and talk about the Art Center.
So you've been in the area, I don't know how long, but I know that you have connections. So tell us a little bit about your background and what you were doing before you got to the Art Center and why you wanted to become a part of the Art Center.
Yeah, I have been part of the Ann Arbor community for over 20 years. I grew up about 20 minutes east of here, and Ann Arbor was always the cool place to go. So even before I had before I launched my career and decided where I wanted to work and live, I was, Ann Arbor, I'm a huge fan of Ann Arbor. And so my background is I previously owned a CrossFit gym. I previously had my own marketing firm. During that time, when I had my own marketing firm, I actually did freelance work and contract work for the Art Center. And so this is going back like 15 years. And so in some ways, my career path has been parallel to the Art Center all of this time. When I ended up moving from my agency and into, I was really drawn into economic development and the work of Ann Arbor Spark and what it does to create jobs and opportunity here in our community. I decided to go work there full time and really became very interested in placemaking and what makes a community attractive. Why do people want to live here? And when the job at the Art Center came up, it just felt like such a beautiful marriage of what I think is important for us as a city. For our economic vitality and our future, and just what makes Ann Arbor such a really cool place to live and work, and be able to support that through the arts. So it felt like a marriage that was a long time coming, and I'm just thrilled that I'm in this position now and can lead us through the next several years.
Yeah, it's really exciting to be part of the Ann Arbor Art Center because they really do make such an impact on the landscape of the city. And I think a lot of times you don't even realize that it's the Ann Arbor Art Center that is part of like the murals and the art that you see around town.
Yeah, I agree with you. And that's something that we're looking to change. In 2020, a little bit of history, when COVID kind of shut everything down, not kind of, but COVID shut everything down, primarily what the Art Center was known for and is still known for is our arts education programming, excuse me. And obviously, you know, like a lot of organizations, the Art Center pivoted and figured out how to deliver some things virtually. But in order to keep the doors open and to keep our mission alive, which, you know, you don't work at a small nonprofit because you know, love the pay or whatever. You work at a nonprofit because you really believe in the mission. And so it was, as an organization internally and for our supporters, just an imperative that we continue to live and breathe that. And so in 2020, 2021 was when the Art Center first started really working on art in public. And it was initially funded by basically a GoFundMe. It was crowdsourced and matched with a grant from the state, matched from some private donors, but it really kickstarted the program and quite frankly, kept the organization afloat during COVID. While at the same time, when everybody was outside and enjoying, you know, being socially distanced and needing to be outside, beautifying our community. And I know it's something that as an organization, we're super proud of. And then, you know, things kind of got back to normal as the organization was figuring out, you know, how do we get back to our roots? How do we get back to, you know, what we do really well all day, every day, while still keeping this art in public initiative going. And I'm thrilled that in my first year on the job, I was actually able to secure funding to hire somebody to run our art in public program and really revitalize that. And so I think in the next 6 months to a year, the community is going to be thrilled to see everything that's in our pipeline right now come to beautify our community and come to fruition. So we're looking at everything from painting the planter boxes along Main Street to beautify those, maybe putting mosaics up, to some of the blank spaces on our buildings and walls downtown, even to some things that we're looking at as sculptures and neon installations too. So we're really looking to make this town a lot more colorful and a lot more beautiful through art.
So you mentioned, obviously, this is like your first year on the job. You started probably what, late 22 when you, yeah.
Yeah, December 20.
How has that first year been on the job? Obviously, you're beautifying the city. Do you have anything else in the pipeline that you've been working on?
Yeah, my gosh, we have so much stuff going on here. It's never a dull moment at the Art Center. One of the things hired almost, I think 3 months before I was hired, was our gallery director, Thea Eck. And so she is running our gallery space. We never had, you know, we had a small gallery space on the second floor of our building, tucked in between classrooms. The Art Center raised money basically to purchase the building next to us. We used the ground floor space to create a gallery. And so very much focused on contemporary arts, brand new space for us. It's incredible. It's a free opportunity for people to come in, work art into their day in a way that is totally accessible and very friendly. It directly contributes to the community in a way that I think is meaningful and brings them into our mission. So the art gallery and getting that program up and running has been something that we've really tackled and made a huge amount of progress on in the last year. And then expanding sort of where can we find a marriage between the things that we do really well and the things that, you know, we're also doing because it's important to us. So one of the things that we're launching for the very first time this year is a mural drawing class. And I think the other thing too is just trying to figure out how do we expand our camp program. So we're very well known for that. Have a really robust, popular, very loud when you're in the office working. But you know, we're all very creative. We're passionate about the work that we do here, and we want to keep pushing the envelope and finding ways to do new and creative things, either with our existing team or going out and asking the community, what do you think we should be doing? What would you want to support? And let us make that a reality for Ann Arbor and the surrounding area. And I think piggybacking off that, one thing I didn't mention that I want to mention is we this year reinvigorated our art lab program, which is really exciting. And so art lab is taking that marriage between technology and art and actually making real world experiences, not only for we teach teen classes, high school classes, and then adult classes as well through our art lab program. But it's really the chance to see everything from stop motion to additive printing to advanced manufacturing, right? And you don't necessarily think of the intersection between art and those disciplines, but it's really cool to see people who come in here and say, I'd like to learn CAD and I'd like to learn how to do this 3D printing or this etching, or I want to work in animation, but I don't necessarily want to commit to a full college class to see if it's something that I enjoy. And then to see people walk out of here excited, especially kids who think, I could be a video game designer and I can do these things, or people who want to pivot in their career, and to see them be inspired, it's pretty cool. It's a cool place to work every day.
I would imagine seeing the inspiration that people have is so, it's like other level, like to see what people come up with. And like, I know personally, because I have an art degree too, that like, working with other people and seeing their ideas gets your ideas flowing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really exciting. And you'll notice in my background, I did not mention that I have an arts background at all. I did go to school on a music scholarship, but in terms of visual art, that's just it was not my thing. And so I leave here amazed every single day at what the team accomplishes. And being surrounded by the works from either, people in our clay studio to stuff hanging in the gallery. It's pretty cool. It's a great place to be.
Yeah, I remember talking to the interim executive director, and they were saying, they were like, we're not necessarily looking for someone that's an artist. They were looking for someone different, and you filled that gap that they needed. And you're obviously so passionate about it too, which is really, I think that's what everyone wants, for someone to run their organization, to have that passion.
Yeah, I appreciate you recognizing that. It was kind of intimidating to step in this role and not have an arts background, but also knowing, I've started a couple businesses. I know how to fundraise. I've worked at nonprofits, and to figure out, how do I bring all of those skills to help advance this organization and make the things that the people in this building want to do and our supporters want us to do and make it run well, then I'm definitely the gal for that. And I'm just so thrilled to be able to do this work.
Yeah. You were mentioning your labs and stuff like that, but I think it is important to talk about that you have these classes. I was looking, because I have a 7-year-old about to be 8, and I have a 1-year-old. So the 1-year-old's a little not quite there yet to be taking art classes. But you have a lot of like fun, like family events that you can do art with your kids. And I'm like, oh my God, this looks like a blast. We would love to do this together, because my daughter and I actually have we have a show called Adventures in Crafting. So we make up our own crafts, and then we do like how-to videos. So I think like a class like that would just be so much fun for us to do together.
It would. And I think I appreciate you recognizing that. And we should talk about that later to see what interests you. But I think, for us, that's also one of the things that we're doing a lot more of that we haven't before, because we are in a position to, I think COVID, for all the that came with that, it did allow for some reflection time and time to take a step back and realize these are the things we do really well, and how can we do them better or more? Keeping in mind that we're a really small nonprofit. I think people are really shocked sometimes when they hear, we have 14 full-time employees. And so being able to offer more of that adjacent programming. So we only have so many ceramic wheels. We only have so many classroom seats, but could we bring in people, families, couples, who would come in for a one-off class? Maybe it's 2 days, maybe it's 1 day. I'm actually taking a class with my husband. It's a 1-day class coming up here soon. And that to me it's perfect, because the commitment is so low. I know that I can actually do it. But it's pretty cool to come in here and see families creating together and having like a family date night together. And certainly we try to use everything that we know from our camp experience and classroom experience to make that super accessible, but really, really fun. So I think a favorite has been the paint your own mugs that you can put cookies in the bottom of. So it's like cookies and milk all in one vessel. And that got such a great response. And it was so fun to see the families come in and pick up their works after it was fired and glazed and everything. And just to see the pride, especially in the kids, that it turned out.
Oh my God. Kids just love making anything. And especially, I don't know what it is about them doing ceramic stuff, because if my daughter makes a ceramic thing in art class, and that's the best thing she made all year. She's more excited to tell you about that than anything she made the entire school year. So I think stuff like that, where it's like something 3D and physical that you can hold in your hand, I think that really means a lot to the kids.
Yes, I agree. And It feels like a very adult thing to do too, especially if you're doing it with other adults in the room and you're all doing the same activity. I think there's a certain amount of, well, if they're trusting me to be in here and do this, then I belong here. And that's certainly what we want for everyone to feel when they walk into this building, that it doesn't matter if you are a professional artist or if you're somebody who's scared to death to pick up a paintbrush, you will be welcomed here and you will be supported here and you will have a really great time here in one of our classes.
Yeah, I think like when people people be like, "Oh, you can draw well or you can do this well," but I also think like art is for everybody, and it doesn't matter how good you are. Because I think like with the problem with art is you want to compare yourself to other people, and it's not a comparable skill. Some people are really naturally good at art, and then other people have to work a little harder at it. But it's really about the process of making something and how it makes you feel to make something with your hands.
Oh, so beautifully said. Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to talk a little bit before we go about the murals because you did mention them. How does the Art Center works with local businesses, right? And so you team up with the business owners and then you help them find so many artists to choose from to create a mural for their business?
Yeah, it's actually so some of it is us just being, I mean, I keep looking out the window because one, it's beautiful, but two, we're centrally located, right? I mean, we're right downtown. And so we have the benefit of being part of this Main Street community and getting to know our neighbors and we collaborate a lot with our neighbors. So for instance, Hyperion, if you've been in Hyperion, very small space, a seating space. And so we basically said, we'll set out tables and chairs. And if somebody wants, the gallery's open and it's free. So come in and enjoy your coffee and do your work or whatever you want to be. Just allow us to like be in the warmth of our space because we created it for that. And so, that for some of our classes, some of our adult only classes, 21 and up, we have a relationship with the Beer Grotto who's on the other side of us and you can get a pint. It's and do a ceramic. We had a beer mug class not too long ago, and we partnered with them. And so just through those conversations and knowing what's going on, we've built up those relationships. But for us, we do have an Art in Public page on our website. There's a ton of information on it, including where if you are a business owner, who to contact. Her name is Hannah Kirkpatrick. And we also have for artists, if you're a muralist and you want to do art in Ann Arbor, sculptures, neon, whatever, we do have an inquiry form for that too, because what we do is work with those business owners, figure out their aesthetic, what do they want to do, what's their goals for it, and then, create and provide them with a portfolio of artists and sort of it's like a matchmaking service where we find the right artist to work with the right building owner. I will say, I think one of the really cool things is kicking back off this program, there's a lot of enthusiasm from business owners and building owners, property owners downtown who are committed to being here and want to make our community a more beautiful, vibrant place. And so without that partnership, I think Ann Arbor would look a little different and certainly have a different vibe to it. And so our message is generally, we try to make this as easy as possible for you. And if you want to make your building or your space, a more beautiful, come see us because that's what we're really good at.
Well, and when I was looking at the website, I didn't realize that you actually, so one of the things I love is seeing the new murals or the new art downtown. I'm like, oh my God, there's something new. And I'm like pointing it out and I love it. I love it. I love it. But you don't know about the artist and stuff like that. So you actually, is it like a phone app or you just go on the website and you can learn about the different murals that you guys have helped create around town?
Yeah, actually, it takes you to our Google map that's dedicated to our different murals and art installations. And it does have that interactive feature to it where you can learn about the artist. It's a really great way to do a self-guided tour. And one of the things that we're trying to figure out is for senior groups or school groups or just, folks in the community, is this something that we should do recurring and actually have a docent who will walk you around town and show you and answer your questions and things like that? And so how do we even make art and that art experience throughout town more accessible for people who might not want to have their phone out to do that or might not be comfortable navigating a maps with all of these pop-ups and whatnot. But it's pretty interesting once you learn about the depth and breadth and range of the artists and what they've done, and just how well known they are outside of Ann Arbor. It becomes even more impressive that they've lent their skills to beautify our city.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of actually watching one of the murals being created. This was a little while back. It was the Pretzel Bell mural at the old location. And a funny story, I was interviewing the artist and then getting B-roll. And I was like, oh, can I go on the cherry picker with you as you paint? And we got stuck up there. And the cops had to come help us get down. Which was hilarious. But that's my mural story with the Ann Arbor Art Center.
I'm pretty sure my insurance agent would be really happy if I would tell you that we will not allow that. But I promise you, it is equally engaging and fun because, the staff here, again, we're really passionate about what we do, and to, have that experience of going around and hearing from them what is impressive and really what this art means and symbolizes, and what is, the artist's sort of ethos and their mission statement. It's definitely a way to get a better understanding, and definitely a better way to get an appreciation of what you might admire, but not have ever actually looked into.
And I also like that it is this partnership between people that own buildings or business owners and the artists, because you get such a wide variety of visual arts then, because everyone has their own taste, and you're always going to get an opinion when people look at public art.
Yes.
But when you have so many different artists, there's always going to be something that you enjoy at a personal level.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And I think unlike we're not commissioning specific, we don't go into it and say necessarily like, we want this to be XYZ. We really try and help business owners think through what's your aesthetic, what is your message, what are you really trying to accomplish, and then let them and the artist co-collaborate to make that vision a reality. And it's each and every time I've been part of the process, it's been radically different, but equally successful in terms of the outcome just being impressive and amazing. So it works. I'm not going to knock it.
Well, we're just about out of time, Jen. Why don't you just tell people why they should take advantage of the Ann Arbor Art Center? Because I'm about to book up one of these Friday classes with my daughter because I'm really psyched about it.
Oh, thank you. Well, I will say, we are a very small nonprofit organization here in town. We punch way above our weight class. And I think as part of being small, you get an intimate experience and you get to work. We have a policy of hiring folks who are very much committed to making sure everybody in the class has a great time, everybody in the class learns, and that every experience that you have here is as participatory or as sort of observatory as you might want it to be. And if it's something that you find intimidating or you're not sure is for you, then, those smaller one-off, one-night classes where you can come, even our date night classes, come with your best friend, come with, your mom, come with, whoever you would want, but come and just see it for yourself and experience it. You won't regret it. It's a creative outlet. It's a fun evening. And it's something where you kind of walk away, I think, surprising yourself by either what inspired you or your own skills that you didn't even know that you had, or maybe just the enjoyment that you took from something that you either found intimidating or not necessarily compelling to begin with. But I've never seen people leave here outside of camp when it's over and kids cry. I've never seen anybody leave here without a smile on their face. So.
Well, thank you, Jen, for being on the show and filling us in on your first year plus on the job and what's on the horizon for the Art Center.
Thanks for having me. I'm so thrilled. I'll do it anytime.
Well, we'll definitely have you back. For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, subscribe, and ring that notification. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.